tonight's Linda MacPhee's workshop. Here's Linda.
Hi, and you hear that music, you know it's time to get boogieing. Actually, it's time for you to sit back, have your coffee or tea, and then watch me have some fun, because I want to have fun with you, and we're going to have sewing fun together, actually creative fun together. I love doing all this stuff. In fact, one of my favorite things to do first thing in the morning is check my email, because so many of you email me or write me or ask questions in whatever way. I see so many people at the shows when I run around the country. I love interacting. I love to hear what you think. Give us suggestions of guests you'd like on the show. Give us suggestions of topics you'd like. Ask questions. We'll do all those. In fact, today we have one letter that I do want to share with you. But to share with you, my best friend Joan. She's here, and Joan, it's just great to have you again.
Thank you, Linda, and I just enjoy every minute that I spend with you.
Oh, dear. Oh, lovely. You're good. I've known Joan for, so we say 50, well, more or less.
Close.
We won't go there, but yeah, we've grown up together. You are the Slinky Queen, for sure.
I love Slinky. I love absolutely everything you can sew with it, and how easy it is to work with.
And care for.
And the camouflage qualities of it.
Yes.
It camouflages a lot of defects.
I must tell our viewers, as if it's not obvious, you've already lost about 60 pounds of what you were before, and you're still going.
And it works to have something like this because it still fits.
Well, I think that's kind of neat, because you said this is the dress you used to wear, and when you pull it out, it is getting quite big, but it kind of, isn't that one of the secrets with Slinky?
It is, and just how easy it is to make something that makes you feel really good and proud when you're wearing it.
Yes, it feels good on the body. In fact, they're even making nighties and stuff out of this now.
I know.
The feel of Slinky is wonderful. The acetate Slinky is what you want. You've got to have the better quality, the heavier. Tell us the tricks when you've sewn everything in Slinky. Everything.
I have sewn everything in Slinky.
Yeah.
I think that one of the most important things is to make sure that you've got sharp scissors when you're cutting out your pattern.
Yes.
Because it's really easy to...
It's kind of slippery, and
it does.
But again, if you don't get the perfect cut, it's not a big deal.
No.
Because there's lots of
room to play.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The other thing is when you're working with it, it's important to have it all up on a surface where you're working. So either your table when you're cutting, or on your sewing machine on the arm that leads into your sewing machine, because if it falls off, that weight does cause a problem.
I know. I always cut that selvage off, because you can sort of see that selvage is kind of pulling it all in. So I cut the selvage off to begin with.
And then use a ballpoint needle or a nice sharp needle, and make sure when you're using the needle that your stitch length might need to be enlarged just a little bit.
Experiment a little on the machine first. Yeah.
Play with it.
Yeah. And I would say one of the things that people often say is that if I'm large, I can't wear Slinky.
Oh no.
The reason that they say this is that they get it too tight.
That's right. I think that if you take your largest part of your body, whether it be your hips or your bust measurement, if you're making a top, or your hips if you're making pants, and make sure that it falls gracefully, I say, from that point. If you have it tight around there, or you have it tight around your abdomen, it's going to show every fault.
And if there are no faults, that's fine. But the rest of us need to sort of...
But those of us who do have faults don't like to see those unfaulted ones.
I thought this was a great example of this. This is a picture that I got in the email, and when you're talking about a groups of people that work together are all different sizes and shapes.
Exactly.
So I must read this, and I think you'll enjoy it. We love your show. Saw you at the Creative Sewing and Needlework Festival in Toronto and was so, SCW, inspired. Here we are. Our group is named the Roadhouse Dancers. We are from Cornwall, Ontario. The ladies are avid line dancers, and we perform routines and dances for seniors in homes, at fairs, in parades, or at any event for fundraising purposes. So, and she's leaving her name and her email, and I said, when I go to Cornwall,
you're going to...
I'm dressed. They got the fabric from us. She was inspired from us. I said, isn't that neat?
You not only match the fabrics, but you do have that love of dancing.
I do.
You're going to have those 2 feet going.
Well, I will be there. But anyway, I have my Slinky pants on today. We've got a new twist on Slinky pants. I want to show you.
Sure, thank you.
And here we have Lily in. So, first of all, my Slinky pants have a side seam. It's our drawstring pants. We've done them on the show before. It is one of my favorite pants. And pants are so easy to fit in Slinky. You really don't have to... there's so much give and so much... I'm not quite that size, but when I get to be, these will be still fine. So, side seam. But let's have a look at these, because no side seam.
Okay.
And there is something rather comforting about no side seam, because it's one less seam to do.
And very quick to make if you're in a hurry. Right.
And they still look fine. It's the same pant pattern.
Right. And then how are they finished at the top?
We've got this elastic waist.
Okay.
Elastic waist here, and hem the bottom. So let's do those, because that's so quick.
Right.
Thank you, Lily. So if we take this off, we actually took our pant pattern. This could be any pant pattern, but this is our drawstring pant pattern. I think we've got to watch the grain line. the front and the back. So
Right.
you don't take two fronts and do this. So
No.
front and the back. And you will line up grain lines and line up seam lines. This is not cutting line, but seam lines.
Okay.
So that your seam line will, and in this case, actually, we didn't change the waist. The
Right.
seam line worked fine, but as it came down here, we've lost a little bit, or we've gained a little bit.
Right.
Because we want this to be still straight. So we ended up taking it off the sides. So whatever distance that is, you measure it and add your seam allowances, take it off the sides, and you'll have the same leg. You could have a wider leg if you want as well.
Right. So the first pair you might want to do the wide leg without, if you're not
Sure.
a mathematician.
Sure. I mean, it's easy to take that in
Exactly,
afterwards. Yeah.
yes.
So basically, you cut it out, which is what we've done.
And when
And is there a right and wrong side, Ms. Lincoln?
well, I believe in this case there is, Linda, because this one does definitely show a right and a wrong side.
It really is, but as long as you use the same
The same side on
it's
both,
really
that's
not a
right.
big issue. And
That's
is there a
it.
nap? That's another one.
There is a nap, but you know, when I'm sewing, sometimes I don't really worry about it because the light
Yeah,
shifting
it's
on it
kind
is
of-
kind of,
it is. Yeah,
gives
it
it
is.
a little bit of different appeal.
So basically what you're going to do is then you're going to pin this well, and I think that's the other secret with slinky.
Lots
is
of pins.
Lots of pins. And we're going to sew from the wide to the narrow, down to the leg. So if you do that, and I've got these pants, so here we are with the pants. Then once we've sewn that, we're going to put one leg inside the other
Right?
and sew the crotch.
And then all the way down.
All the way down
and
all
up.
the way there. Turn over your top, put elastic, turn under this and hem it. And so
I would say
we're talking
20
about-
minutes and you'll be on your
Okay,
way.
I've got another neat one. You've got to see this
All
one.
right.
Okay, let's have a look. Here's Slinky, and it's in three
Oh, I
layers.
like this one.
So this is called layers, and what we've done here is this is actually just a belt.
Right.
So this belt could go around there, whatever. But if you look at this, it's lettuce. It's
Oh, I
yeah.
love that finish on that.
So have a look at this, because this is one piece. Let's pull that up, Joan, if you want to take that.
Okay.
That's one piece.
We're peeling
So you
like
could wear
another-
this by itself. You could take this piece off.
This is very appealing.
Yeah, yes. And you could wear this one by itself.
Oh.
And when you start playing around, you can start shifting these things.
The
You can make
direction.
them different colors. You can do all different things.
Yes.
So it's our new pattern. It's called layers, and you can layer as many layers. And with Slinky, you don't end up looking like a moose because it's just sort of
so
disappears.
thin. That's right.
Yeah.
That's a
That looks
beautiful
great.
outfit.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So the really only thing you got to know about that is you put elastic at the top, and you don't put a big wide elastic. I didn't show you. We just put a little narrow elastic,
Okay.
so you don't get a whole bunch of glump at the waist.
Right.
But you basically pull that tight, and you zigzag it. So when you
Okay.
sew that, you zigzag.
And then this is what it ends up like when
Yes,
you're
and
doing
it just goes like this.
Wow.
Yeah. We've got one more, Joan.
Oh.
Are you ready for this?
I'm
Circle
going to be
square.
very busy.
Yeah, this is a fun one. Let's have a, yes.
Oh, my.
This is one, I just saw this fabric. This is not Slinky, but it's very similar to Slinky. And I said, I think we can just do something with this. Are we going to take this one off? No? Okay, all right. So what it is, it's a square. So if you then hold that one out, Joan, and hold this one out. Okay, let me see. Here, if you hold it, you sort of put your arms there. You can see that's a square. And we cut a circle out of the middle of it and put her in the middle of that circle.
Oh.
Thank you. We'll show you how that goes.
Beautiful.
It goes more easily on paper. So if you look at this, here is our square. And actually, I should put it this way so the viewers can see it. So it's a 50-inch square. We fold it into quarters, and we take a circle out of it. And the circle is a quarter of your hip measurement.
Okay, so if my hip measurements are 60.
Yeah, a quarter
Then
that's
it's
15.
15
Yeah,
inches,
yeah,
okay.
So there it is. We've cut that circle out. And then basically, we've got to then make a band
Right.
to go with that. And the band is going to go into that circle.
Okay.
It's kind of a neat one, and there is a pattern for it. In fact, it's getting a little complicated because
It's almost like a T-shirt neck, though, you know?
Yes, it is.
Because you're putting the band
In
on the
fact,
top of a
maybe
T-shirt.
you could wear it as a T-shirt, too. In fact, maybe you could wear this up. Who knows? The possibilities of this.
If you could have a long enough one, it would be a very elegant evening outfit.
Yes, that's true. That's true. We've got directions for all this. There is a book.
Oh,
So,
I'm so glad because, my brain really does almost go into overload.
True enough, true enough. Everyone's brain goes into overload. We've got to finish, Joan. This is it. It's been great having you here today. You'll love this next segment because what we're going to do is we're going to go to a woman who dyes fabric.
Oh,
So stick around.
good summer project.
Okay, we'll see you. I'm fascinated by the dyeing process and being able to take a piece of fabric and make it individual, make it your own. And I'm so lucky to have Emily with me because this is what you do, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And how did this become your life?
Well, I studied fashion design right out of high school, and I had dreams of becoming a fashion designer.
Yeah.
And just, I guess, developed this great love for textiles, and was more interested in that end of it than I was sort of the final piece.
Yeah, and it's taken over. I mean, this is what you made your full-time business.
Yes, it is. Yeah, we have a business.
I think that's wonderful. So I first met you, and when I first met you, it was at a show, and I said, could you dye me a piece of wool? Because, I mean, I deal with a lot of wool. So let's show you what happened with that piece of wool.
Okay.
Here it is. So it was a piece of wool Melton, and it was 60 inches wide, and you did a great job. I just think it's so much more interesting, motley. Like, is this what you call this?
Yes, this is called low water immersion dyeing, and it's a subtle mottled look using a hot water acid dye. And you have on also a very beautiful look, which is a soft mottled look as well, and that's what we're going to do today.
I just think fabrics are so much more interesting when they're not all sort of like painting on a wall. It's the same technique. You make it all sort of schmucked up, and it doesn't have to be all clean and perfect.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. It looks good, Eldine. Thank you. All right. So I want to do this. Can I do this? What do I need?
Okay. Well, this is a great dye, the Procyon MX cold water dye. It's a great dye to do at home.
Okay.
And
you wouldn't use that for the wool. The wool is something that's maybe something you want professionally done.
The wool, yes. We need a high heat, and we're using an acid dye, and it would be more suited in a studio setting than a home setting.
But the kinds of things that you would do would be cotton and what else?
This is perfect for cotton, linen, rayon, hemp. You can dye wood in it as well.
Okay. All natural kinds of things. That's what I'm picking up from that you don't want to do polyester or blends or things like that.
That's right. You can also dye silk with this, but generally any plant fiber or cellulose fiber you can.
Okay.
Dyes beautifully. All the colors intermix really well, and they're very bright.
Love it.
And you can also add black and things like that too.
Oh, well, that's where the fun comes, is creating the colors. Okay, so we need some equipment. We need you said something like, it doesn't have to be metal, or it could be plastic, could be.
It can be, well, we'll start off with the dye box here. You can just make this
That's
at
a pretty
home.
technical piece of equipment.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very simple. It works great with a water bottle. You just basically...
There's some newspapers in the bottom.
Yeah. And you just wet down the newspaper.
Okay.
And what you can do is when you're turning your dye from the powder form to the liquid form, this is great. It picks up all the powders. It isolates the space that you're working in, especially if you have children, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then you can just pick up the top layer when you're finished.
Okay, first of all, you were saying you don't want to be breathing this stuff, is this?
That's right.
So it is an important thing to have a mask on, so that would be, and probably the gloves.
Gloves.
Yeah.
And also safety goggles are a great idea as well.
Sure.
These are just very simple dust masks you can buy.
So this stuff is not really bad, but it's just smart to use this kind of thing because you don't want to be breathing a whole bunch.
You just have to be careful and treat the chemicals with respect.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so that will kind of confine your dye. So
that's right.
Okay.
And then you need measuring spoons.
These ones, this is what you did in there. You put the water in there and you put the dye, and you did it all within that little confined space.
We mixed 25 mils of powder with a cup of water and about 50 mils of urea.
Okay.
And that will keep for about 5 days.
Oh, okay.
Then we just take a pot here and fill it with about 100 mils of water for a fat quarter size.
Okay.
So then we would just wrinkle it up.
And this recipe we will have in our booklet, so we don't have to be writing down the recipe. Sure.
Okay, and then just wrinkle it up, and you've got it in the pot here. And then you want to squish it down.
So it wants to be all wet. Is that, yeah?
Yeah.
So but there's not a lot of water. This is very little water.
It's very little water. And again, when you get to experiment, you can make recipes, and you can create your own recipes and looks for different things as well. So you can put it in dry,
I think
wet.
what you're saying is you want a whole kitchen. I mean, you don't want to be using this to make your cakes afterwards and stuff. So you've got all your own equipment, and you put it all together, and you keep it in a section of your house, and this is your dye space.
That's right. Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
And so then what we'll do is once the dye concentrate is made up with the dye and the urea, we will add some dye. And again, you might want to keep recipes of what you're doing.
Sure.
But you can just...
it's kind of an experiment, isn't it?
It's always an experiment.
So let me just
I've been doing this 15 years now, and every day I go in.
It's a new game.
It's a new. You learn different things.
I think you're very brave to have on that white sweater too.
Yes.
Which is very brave.
This is a once in a lifetime thing that I'm doing.
Yeah, okay.
So,
so it doesn't really matter. You just kind of play with the colors and kind of let them. And are they seeping right through to the bottom? Or
they will. And what another thing you can do is these tongs work great, pasta tongs or anything like that. You can flip it over.
Oh, that's quite a good idea. So, I like that. I mean, there's absolutely no rules to this game.
There's no rules. No, none at all.
Yeah, that's what I would
the one thing is that you want to, if you are doing this in the hopes of redoing it, you want to make sure that you really keep the recipes
yes, of course,
firm.
I would imagine that would be your worst nightmare, somebody saying, now make me one and make me another.
Yeah, make me and that has happened a lot. So you learn from your mistakes.
Sure.
So we'll put it in like that.
Okay.
And then what we'll do is we'll add here, I've got 100 mils of soda ash for a fat quarter size.
Okay.
So you'll mix about 135 mils of soda ash to 1 gallon of water. And that will be your solution. Just dissolve it. It keeps for forever.
Okay, so what does the soda ash do? It just kind of makes it...
It activates the dye.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
And
all right.
This dye is reactive dye, so what it will do is for about the first 15 minutes, the dye will be reacting with that soda ash.
Okay, so we have to leave that then for about 15 minutes.
And then you just leave it for an hour.
Oh, an hour, okay.
After an hour, what you're going to do is you're going to take your Synthropol over here and mix it in with some water.
And I think the other point that you made, that you really should pre-wash your fabric and get all the sizing and stuff out of it, because that's going to make a difference when the dye comes, isn't it?
That's right. You should wash it in about 140 degrees hot water using about a teaspoon of Synthropol and about 25 mils of soda ash for about 3 to 5 meters of cotton.
And I'm sure you could do it without, but if you want the best, this is this is what you're saying, is that to get the best color and the best result.
Yes, you should pre-wash your fabric always just to get the sizing out.
Sure.
Okay, so then after an hour, you just take it out. Usually what you'd have here is a running tap in hot water with the Synthropol, constantly in that water and part of it under the running water.
Okay.
But just to sort of do the quick version.
Yeah.
What we've got here is just
some sort of colors coming, and it just sort of depends how much color you squirt it on to begin with. And
what I would do then is probably over dye it in a blue or a purple on its own, just to sort of mix that.
So we could take these squirt things and squirt some more on?
We could keep going with it.
Okay. Maybe that leads us into these pieces that you've got. Is that?
That's right.
Yeah. Could you sort of explain then what process you've used here?
Well, with this piece over here, we've done low water immersion dyeing on the silk charmeuse.
Okay. And then you stamped it afterwards.
We stamped it using dyes, actually, on that one.
Okay.
Just rubber stamps are just great. You can use fabric paint or ink.
Sure.
And
there really, again, is nothing wrong. I mean, if you don't like it, add some more to it or add some more colors to it and keep going. And
that's right. Yeah. Here we've got another finished piece. The one thing is, I never like to mix more than 3 colors because the colors start to muddy.
Yes, I would think so.
Using 1 or 2 and then over dyeing in a third is, I found, the best way to get a clean result where your colors are vibrant.
Yeah. I'm fascinated by the marbling, of course.
This is our fabric marbling that we do, and that's, I guess, another segment. Let that float on the top. I've seen it done. You let it float on the top, and then you can capture that. I think it's just fascinating. What I love most is the history of marbling. It was developed in the 1600s, and they used to use it to prevent forgery of important documents.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So, that's
so carrying on.
History. And then we just have more of the... Again, different color stories of the low water immersion dyeing.
Sure.
And again, you experiment on your own and create your own colors and things.
Fascinating. Emily, this has just been wonderful. And I hope that we've got you guys excited about this thing because, it's taken over your life. What's the most bizarre thing you've ever made?
Well, we did did dye a fox stole for a movie star a couple of months ago, and that actually was a great success, but...
Didn't you say it got clogged in the drain or something?
It get clogged in the drain.
But other than that, you
for
got
a few minutes.
Well, I think your life must be exciting because you never know what's around the next corner, and I think you've got me excited about dyeing, and here we go. So
Well,
thank you
thanks
so
for
much.
having me.
Okay, we'll be back. One of my favorite people to have on the show is Kelly Geraghty because you're a specialist in so many things.
Thank you.
Today we're talking
Great
zippers.
to be back.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
zippers. Zippers are big in home deck.
Yes.
Because I always believe you should be able to take the cover off the cushion so you can either change it or wash
Okay, and
it or dry
sometimes
clean it.
these zippers are so invisible, but
And
there it is.
here is
Yeah.
lap. That one's not truly invisible.
Yeah,
That is a nylon coil zipper.
Sure.
This little fan-shaped purse has a metal zipper in it.
Yeah,
And
okay.
we have another metal zipper. That's a nylon coil as well, but
Yeah,
the metal on there.
Yeah.
Now, different feet that we have.
would be a good way to do cushions is a zipper then.
Zippers are good. Now and this one has a lap
Zipper
through
in
the
the
back.
back, yeah.
Again. Now we do have different feet that we can use to put the zippers in. One comes standard with the machine, and it's good for most instances.
Okay.
And sometimes, though, we have some places where it's a little finicky, so we use the narrow zipper foot.
Okay, that's kind of neat.
But
That's a new...
a newer foot
Yeah.
is this guy. This is our invisible zipper
And
foot.
I think invisible zippers have been around for a long time.
And
but
we use them a lot in
people have kind
in
of avoided
garments.
them. Yeah.
But I like to put invisible zippers in my home deck things as well. And
Okay, what are we
if
going to
I
put that
have those-
into?
Yeah, there's
What
a
are we
good
gonna put
idea.
that
Where
into?
did that fabric go? Oh, I know. There we go.
Okay, here we go.
Fabric.
Yeah.
Now we're just going to, say this was 2 panels for a cushion. So what we would do is we're going to undo the zipper. And you're going to take it so that you've got the right side of the zipper.
Right, because you can tell this is
yeah,
the... Yeah.
And you're going to put it right side down against the left side of the panel that you're going to be joining.
Okay.
And we're
So
going
this would
to...
be the seam allowance on your
That's
garment,
right.
Yeah.
And
Or
then what you're
cushion.
going to do is we're going to take our foot, and because we can just pop it in there,
Okay.
and it snaps on like so, and we're going to use a straight stitch.
Okay.
And I'm going to use a slightly smaller stitch length of 2.5. And you're going to line that up, and you're going to finger press this down. See how that rolls?
Oh,
the
I see.
invisible,
Yeah,
the
yeah, it
coil
rolls
rolls.
off
There's
a bit.
2 little grooves on the underside of this zipper foot. So what we're going to do is, to do this side of the zipper, we're going to start it, and you're going to lower the foot just down so that the coil is underneath on the groove on the right side.
Okay.
And then I'm going to drop my needle into the fabric,
Okay.
and I'm going to start to sew. And that groove will turn that coil slightly.
And does it sort of keep itself in the groove?
It keeps it in the groove, and it lets the needle go right down beside the groove. So you go all the way down,
Okay, keeping it sort of as straight as you can.
Yeah.
What happens when you get to the...
and we're going to tie off.
But what do we do with
cut.
the clunker thing? Do we?
Yeah, no, well, we
don't worry about that yet?
We would have, if this was going to be a real cushion, we would be stopping up here. We always sew past where
I
we're going to
see,
put
I see.
our...
Yeah,
so
okay.
now we're going to... So you can see when we open it, you can see how
Yeah,
that's going
it's
to be
already covered,
invisible.
yeah.
Now what you're going to do is you're going to do the same thing with the other side. You're going to take this, you're going to add this piece
Okay, it's
to
going
here.
To be...
And you would want to
So
make
this is going to
sure...
be upside down this time.
No, it's still right side
Right
up.
side
See,
up,
that's
okay.
the right side of the zipper.
Okay.
And this time, we're going to run the coil through the left side.
Oh, the same groove.
Yep. Not
But
the same groove,
the same...
on the other
but
side.
there's another place.
Yeah.
Okay, we're done. We'll just leave you doing that because we're out of time. See you next time. Join us for more
Thanks
fun.
very much.
To receive the companion book for this series, send $19.98 to the address on your screen or call 1-888-MacPhee.